Could you be owed part of a $95 million lawsuit settlement because your smartphone, your watch, your laptop, or any of your other smart devices throughout your home are privately recording your conversations and sharing those conversations back with the manufacturer and with third-party companies to target you with illegal advertisements for the products that you look up, talk about, or even mention in your own home? Well, you might not be surprised at today's video, but you could be entitled to some money, so let's check it out. Yeah, welcome in to the channel, everybody. I don't think today's video is going to surprise a whole heck of a lot of people, but Apple, the maker of MacBook, of Apple Watches, of cell phones, smartphones, is proposing a $95 million settlement to pay to anybody who's owned a device since 2014, all the way to 2024 for the last 10 plus years, that you have a device that illegally recorded your conversations, whether you were talking about a product or a service or private conversations. If you have like a hey S word, S-I-R-I, in your house, or maybe your laptop is sitting on your counter and you were talking and activated it on accident or just recorded you, Apple is not admitting that they did anything wrong, but they're going to court on August 1st to pay out a settlement, possibly, probably, of $95 million to every single person that had a device, an Apple device, since 2014 that could have been illegally recorded and products talking about. So let me just input my opinion here. And this is as an Apple user. I use a watch. I use a MacBook. I have an iPhone and I also have an iPad. I think everybody knows that. Now, in our house, we have multiple smart devices. One of our guest rooms up there has a Fire Cube, which is Amazon and the A word. Hey, Alexa. I can say, hey, S word, S-I-R-I, and activate pretty much any one of my devices here. So we have multiple ones of those. The only one I don't have is Hey Google, because I don't use Android, but I'm sure I could find some device in this house that has a Google connection to it. Now, Apple is being sued. They were sued in 2017, and everyone can get on board as a class action lawsuit, and I'm going to tell you about the money breakdown in a second, but I am surprised that there isn't a lawsuit against, or I'm not aware of, against Google or Android, Alphabet, their parent company, because I guarantee you the same thing that Apple's doing, the Android devices are doing as well, Google devices. If it has AI or intelligence that you can activate or that you can talk to, or even just sitting here talking right now to all of you, and my MacBook is in the background, even though I haven't said the S word to activate it, I believe it is recording me. I believe it is listening to me. I believe all the devices, they always have been listening. There have been so many reports of people talking about just anything random, and as soon as they bring up their phone, all of a sudden there's an ad for that particular item. I will digress. Hanging out with some friends years ago, a couple years back, and we were testing it, just laughing and saying, man, I really wish we owned some goats, and imagine how fast they would cut our grass. Or we said something dumb like that. I kid you not, 3 of the 4 phones that were present at the time were iPhones, and one of them got an ad immediately for goat food. One of them got an ad to go to a goat petting farm. Legitimately, like, I wish I had another device recording us looking at those devices. In fact, I probably could test it out. Maybe I will do a follow-up video and I'll test it out on my devices and let you guys see for yourself. These devices are listening to us around the clock. And I know there's some people that are like, well, I don't own a smart device in my house. I don't own an iPad. I don't own a smart watch. Yeah, but almost everybody owns a smartphone. As long as you have that phone, you're being tracked, you're being listened to. Do I care? No. If some dude is sitting back at Apple headquarters listening to my private conversations, knock yourself out. I don't care. Is the FBI or the CIA listening to me? Is it being shared with them from Apple? Because obviously it would be Apple or Android collecting it. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's happening. I don't care. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not having conversations about, boom, someplace I'm not supposed to. That just doesn't happen, right? But you would think you would like to know in the privacy of your house that you are able to talk about maybe with your significant other intimate things, maybe with your kids or your family members about private information or banking. Me and Kate may sit here at the couch and have talks about our banking information, our financials, our taxes that are paid, our bills that we're paying, where we're transferring money around, what our credit card number is, what our social security number is. Maybe I yell across the couch to Kate, hey, what's your social security number? I got to fill it out for this tax thing or whatever. And now all of a sudden my devices are listening, and now some dude is sitting back at Apple headquarters or Android headquarters, and he has my social security number, or who knows what he's doing with it, right? So this is all scary. It's all like something that is known. I think we all know it's happening, but we're obviously okay with it because these devices are integral to our normal life, our everyday life of work and play and pleasure and business. And, you know, I live on this computer. This is how I work. This is how I edit videos for you guys. This is how I upload stuff to the Facebook group. And this is how I do my eBay listings and my offers and all this stuff. So I live on this computer. And if it wasn't this computer, it would be a different one. It would be an Android tablet or a touchscreen or an all-in-one, whatever. Somebody is listening. And I hate it. I don't like the idea of it. And they say it's for our own good so they can target us with ads that we want. If I have to choose between privacy and getting an ad that I don't want, I'm going to take privacy every time. But clearly there's nothing we can do, and they're not going to be stopped. Even paying out $95 million to a company that's worth $1 trillion, they don't care. It's a speeding ticket, right? They're just going to pay it and continue to do what they're doing because that information to share with these advertisers is priceless. It's how they make hundreds of millions and billions of dollars selling our information so that advertisers can target us with goat food or dog food for my dogs or whatever it is that they are trying to target us with. And so my question to all of you, I'll wrap this video up. My question and my dilemma to all of you is, if we know these companies are going to continue to do it, and if we know that we have to use these smartphones or these watches or these laptops or whatever it is, and we know that a $95 million lawsuit is not going to stop them, a settlement isn't going to stop them, what do we do? How do we handle this? What is your thoughts on that? Now, the money breakdown, how much could you get? You have 2 months. I'll link it below. You can go register with the Apple website. If you owned a device between 2014 and 2024 that contains SIRI, you are eligible for your part of the settlement, capped at $20. You can get $20 as part of your settlement up to 5 devices. So clearly I own 5 devices or more in that time frame. I own 5 right now, I think. Watch, MacBook, iPad, phone, and Apple TV. Yep, Apple TV in the other guest room. So I have all 5 devices, so I can get $100, and that's the maximum I could get. Should I go in and file and get my $100? I mean, yeah. Do I think Apple's done anything with my information? Of course I do. I think they've recorded me. I think they've listened. I think they've shared it with advertisers without my permission. And so is that worth $100 to me? Why not, right? Kate has Apple devices. So it could be less money too. They said if millions and millions of people register more, that it could end up being less money. But I'll try to get my $100. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know how we operate without these devices, because if you're not on an Apple device, you're on an Android device. I mean, what do we get, a flip phone, a jitterbug? Your guess is as good as mine, you guys. Anyways, I want to open it up to your comments because I'm interested in how you guys feel about it. Should we stop using the devices? Should we boycott them? Should we just live with it as we have for the last decade? What should we do to stick it to these companies? Maybe if they were getting fined $1 billion, maybe $1 billion does it, maybe $2 billion. I still don't know that that would offset what they are making, so they don't care, right? They don't care because if you're making so much money, you're willing to trade a few bucks to make a few thousand, right? Or in their case, a few million to make a few trillion. It's a no-win situation in my opinion, but as always, I'll listen to your comments. And before I leave the video, I know everybody has been asking. If you haven't, we did, of course, adopt a St. Bernard. That is Kobe. He's right there. I don't want to wake him up, but he's chilling while I'm recording with you guys. And we do still have the Old English sheepdog. That's Milo. So I'll let him in the video. Hi, guys. They are sleeping because it's almost time to go to bed, and it's their chill out time before we do that thing called bedtime. So I won't wake them. They're being good boys, rarely being good boys. But anyhow, let me hear your comments about this Apple lawsuit and tech in general, about all the other devices and the companies, because it's not Apple specific. They're not the only ones doing it. They're just the ones that got sued, and they are the ones that are paying the settlement. So I'll link it below if you want to register for the class action lawsuit to get your $20 or your $50 or your $100. And yeah, it's an interesting read. The settlement is tentatively scheduled for August 1st, so you have until like the end of July. You have like June and July. Make sure you get it done ASAP. USA Today reached out to Apple on May 11th and received no response. Shocker, shocker. They're in a court case, so they can't respond anyways, but they wouldn't respond even if they could. They just don't want to do it. The users were claiming they saw ads on their phones for specific brands after discussing them out loud. Shebang. There you go. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and say goodnight to the boys as we head to bed, but I'll get this video up for you ASAP. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next time.